Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to our first leadership mindset training. I don't know. We got to think of a catchy name for our Mondays get-togethers. I don't know. Some of you will be having maybe a morning coffee, or some of you may be having lunch if you're on the East Coast, or whatever. Whenever you're watching, I am excited to be starting this new Monday calls because I was chatting with the girls before I actually started the recording. I was saying the idea behind starting this call is because I've been actually having more conversations. Well, we just came back from a trip in Cabo and just having those one-on-one conversations with some of the reps, and now some of the leaders on the team, some of the strongest leaders on the team, that frustration is kicking in, and like at certain points needing that they need to set boundaries with people that they feel, and it all comes down to, I've been there. Sometimes I go back in that hole, and I'm constantly trying to get myself out of it, because it's normal as leaders. We not only we want to be better, but also we see potential in people, right? You guys see potential in people and you're like, oh my God, why aren't you doing this? What's going on? And then it's frustrating. That's still going to happen. And what I want to share with you guys today is how that is still going to, the behaviors are still going to be there, right? The attitudes of some people are still going to be there. It's how you as a leader manage it, and how your posture is in those moments when you're being pulled in so many directions. So I tell you, when I learned about this concept that I'm going to teach you today, and for some of you this is going to be like, I thought you had like this secret sauce, Paula, for like $1 million team. It's work, it's consistency, but this is going to help you just go through the days, continue growing, and continue having fun. Because like I said in the beginning to the girls before I hit record, Zaya, I believe 100% is here to make our lives better, to make to bring fulfillment, joy, heart, and vision to our lives, and make our lives easier, not harder. Okay, we didn't join this business to destroy ourselves. That's not the point. So with that being said, let me hit that share button on my screen so I can show you guys a few concepts that I have, a few ideas that I have for you on leadership and how to reduce frustration. Okay, so let me just start this presentation over here, and then I can, okay, I think I got you. Let me know if you guys can see my screen, please. That's not the screen that I want you guys to see. Can you see it now? Yes, you see a little title that says leadership in our type of business. Somebody give me thumbs up. Okay, good. Okay, cool, because I don't see the names. Okay, here we go. Cool. Okay, so leadership in our type of business. So one thing that I want you guys to know is, and some of you may even work in sales, maybe some of you are managers, you work with people. Network marketing, direct sales is totally different in the sense that we have a volunteer army. This is people like you guys are here because you made the choice to be here, not because I'm gonna fire you, not because I'm your boss. Your upline is not your boss. The people on your team, you're not their boss. You're not their boss. You're not the mom, even though for purposes of understanding the genealogy, I always say, oh, I'm your Zaya mom, I'm your Zaya grandma, your aunt, whatever. But in reality, I'm not your mama. I'm not your grandma. I'm not your babysitter. I'm here just as you, a business owner. And that is one thing that we have to understand. One thing that we may, how do I, oh snap, this is great. Oh, here it is. I'm such a professional. One of the topics today, hold on. In conclusion, if I could wrap this all up in one phrase, is the goal of a leader is to inspire other people to think, if they can do it, I can do it. If Paula can do it, if Paula can do this without knowing what she's doing, then anybody can do it. Trust me. So, okay, what makes a great leader? And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to the point that many times we feel like we can lead anybody. We feel unworthy. And I'm just coming from a place of, I know that I have like this um confidence, maybe, if we should say it, about leading. And it's really only because I've because I have a passion for this, because I have a passion for improving other people's lives, because I've put in the work in developing myself. But the person that I was 7 years ago, 10 years ago, I am not the same person that I am today. It's taken some time. So if you see somebody out there that is a great leader, just most likely it is because that leader is making things easier for everybody, making things easier for people. So your job as a leader should be to make things easier for people. Leadership is not charisma. Leadership is not being awesome. Leadership is not being the loudest person in the room or in the group. A leader is somebody who's making things so simple that people start doing, and they start winning. And when they're winning, they feel that they're being led in the right direction, right? A leader is not a mom, like we talked before. A leader is not a mom. And that is one of the things. I started working with my coach, and many of you guys have heard of him. I've led many of you to him. His name is Ray Higdon. And the first thing, he told me two things on our first one-on-one conversation. He said, number one, you need to stop the mom guilt. Because my conversation started with, Ray, I feel stuck. I feel like my people are not working hard. I feel like I don't have people who want to work the business. I feel like I need to do something different so I can attract people like me. And this, I'm telling you, it's maybe 6-8 months ago. And he said, number one, remove the mom guilt. I'm like, huh? I'm like, I don't feel sorry for them. I'm like, no. And he said, remove the mom guilt. You're putting yourself in a position where you're blaming yourself for the lack of results of others. And that happens. I don't know if it's happening to you right now, if you relate to this, or you may find it, but you know what? I think you're not going to struggle with that, because you will remember this. Again, you are not you're in this business, you're not the boss. You're not a dictator. And that's not the way that we should lead the team, okay? A leader leads by example. A leader creates duplication. A leader leads by example. Do the things that you expect your team to do. You can't say, oh, my team is not recruiting. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, when was the last time you signed up a rep? When was the last time you reached out to somebody and said, would you be open to taking a look at the opportunity? Or when was the last time you reached out to somebody and said, hey, would you be open to hosting a party for me? If you're not doing those things yourself consistently, don't get mad because your team is not doing it. Your team is going to follow your example. Now, I'm going to go over something that was critical, and this is a second really big, important, eye-opening, boom, exploded my mind type of thing, but just a second. That's going to be your last thing we're going to talk about. A leader leads by example. A leader creates duplication. And going back to the leads by example, specifically in our business, in Zaya, let's say you have a goal to get to junior rep, you have a goal to get to director, you have a big goal that is to get to executive, Zaya executive, whatever it is, you always have to assume that you need to do the majority of the work yourself. Because if you're putting your personal goals and putting pressure on your people to get it done for you, it's not going to happen. Always think that whatever it is that you're going for, you have to build it again. So always go with that mentality that you have to rebuild. I tell you, I know that to get to my next level, it's not going to be the same people. I know that I have to bring new people. I know that I have to help my people bring people in order to get to the next level. Is that making sense? Super simple. And I know that it sounds like, duh, that sounds like common sense. But in reality, when we're in the day to day and feeling frustrated, going to bed, beating ourselves up because we're not getting where we want to get to, this is going to come in handy. Like, okay, I have to focus on the basic activities. Always growing your business. Always put it as a priority, growing your business and not feeling guilty for what others are doing, okay? A leader creates duplication, and this is huge. So the best definition for what makes a great leader, a leader makes things easy for people by creating duplication. Whatever you do, make sure that your team, that the people that are coming into your team, they can do it too. And also don't make it look on the outside like it's hard, like it's complicated. If you try to do things too perfect, for example, I like things to look pretty and all that stuff, but I also want to get the job done. So if I spend too much time trying to make everything super perfect, what happens is it's going to look pretty, but maybe many of you are going to be like, that sounds so complicated. I don't have time for that. So you just don't do it. If I create, for example, a contest or a challenge where it's too, I'll give you an example. Over the weekend, I had this idea. Did you guys see the 5-legging challenge? Originally, because I am very challenge oriented, in my mind was like 10 leggings. It was 10 leggings. I was going to launch it with 10 leggings yesterday. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, 10 leggings is hard for some people. For some, it's easy. If they have the following, if they have the, if they have the people, they have a large customer base. Maybe for somebody selling $100 is hard. Now 10 leggings in 4 days, it's going to be really hard. So I brought it down to 5, and that's just creating duplication, creating an environment and creating tools and resources that people can come in and go get the work done. People, when they get started and if they start winning from the beginning, they're gonna get excited and I want to continue doing this. Don't complicate things for people because they're gonna talk themselves out of it. Okay, a leader creates space for community, and this is one of the biggest things that I've noticed we've changed on our team page. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, if you've been with the team for a while, but for the last few months, I think this is where I've put most of my energy, my dreams, my minutes, everything in creating a space where everyone, or at least most of people, feel like they contribute. And I used to have, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect, I am human, but I used to gravitate around people who were doing the work. And I didn't realize that not everybody was like me. Not everybody is a driven, challenge oriented, want to make a lot of money type of people. I'm more than money. I want to make an impact, and not everybody is fired up about that or excited about that. So just in general, know that a leader has a passion. A leader should have a passion for improving themselves and for passing that along to others. A leader has a passion for improvement and for helping others develop themselves. So as you grow as a leader, make sure that you're passing that on to others, so that I believe that if we're all growing together with a same vision, we're all growing in that same direction and accomplishing things together. It's the whole point of being part of a team and being part of a community. So a great leader inspires people through a shared vision. As a leader, this is a question for you guys. You don't have to answer it right now, but something to think about. And this is outside of ranks and outside of anything. Do you have, at this point in your Zaya business, a clear vision of who you want to become? It's not attached to a paycheck, I'm pretty sure. It shouldn't be attached to a car or a lifestyle necessarily, but what do you want to do? And I can share with you guys, I want to make I really, like, when I say it, I don't know how to really like express it in a way that it really shows how important it is to me. But it's our team name. To me, making an impact in the lives of others, and it doesn't mean that everybody is going to be rich or everybody's going to do this or that, but that everybody feels a better person because they joined our team, because they joined our company, because they came into our small family. Does that make sense? That's what I want. Do you consider yourselves a sales manager or a true business owner? And that's one of the biggest things that I want to share with you guys, aside from leadership, is that that you really see yourselves as business owners. This is a business. It may be clothes hanging behind my desk here. It may just be, but we invested a little bit of money compared to like a big franchise or opening a big store or something. But it is a business, and it is a business that can provide so much to us. So focus on improving yourself, on reading personal development, on putting in the work consistently. Just look at maybe the way that you run things at your job. Those of you that have jobs, and like, how do? You show up, you turn on your computer, you do things. There's things that you have to do no matter what, so that you can comply with your business, right? Now think, you're working there. If you don't show up, if you don't do the work, you don't get a paycheck, right? Or you'll get fired, or somebody's going to get mad at you. The same concept applies to this as a business. If you have big goals and you have big dreams that you want to make possible with Zaya, just show up in the same way. It doesn't mean that you have to show up 8 hours a day, 9 to 5. That's the beauty of it, that you can work it around any, like, based on your schedule and your flexibility. But take ownership of it. Like, what are the things that you should do every day to really feel like I'm owning this business for sure? And okay, great leaders, best practices. And I think these 4 are really important. If you guys want to take note about it, let me see what is oh, Jen, I know it. And I love it. I love it. I love that shift that I've seen in you. And it would be nice when I finish this, Jen, if we chat a little bit about it. That would be really great, because that's a really good example. I'm so excited. So, great leaders, best practices. Number 1, strive to make things easy. Again, think about duplication. Anything you do, just think, will my people be able to do this? Can my people do this like me? And for example, if you're teaching your team how to run parties, if you're teaching, like, what can you do to create little systems that help them do things? Now, I will say, you don't need to recreate the wheel. Like, this is not me telling you, okay, you all need to go out there and have your own groups, your own videos, your own documents. Dude, we have so much on Team Impact. You can take advantage of that. Just notice where the things are and make sure that you're creating that duplication for people. If you feel like, you know what, I love this, but I want to do it my way, then go do it your way. Now, don't be a perfectionist and a collector of information. We want to get things going and improving along the way. Number 2, this business is not about you. When it comes to your team, it's not about you. It's about them. I skipped something here. Okay, none of this is about you. So, for example, when you go, and I've seen this, and I have to say, it hurts to admit it, but I've been there when I've said, okay, why isn't everybody selling anything? What's going on? And this was the Paula a while back. Why aren't you people selling anything? Why are you watching TV and not working? It's not that way. Not everybody wants the same things that you want. And maybe some people are just not there for that. And we have to be okay with it. Okay? Always do what you wish your team was doing. So, leading by example. Number 4, you're not their mom or their boss. Okay, so don't act like a dictator. Don't let that mom guilt affect you from creating that community and making everybody feel loved and appreciated. Okay, mom guilt will bring you so much frustration. It's not even funny. You got to get rid of it today. Throw it out the window right now. Get that mom guilt, throw it out the window. Okay, now focus on creating a story and accomplishments that inspire people to think, wow, if she can do it, I totally can do it. Does that make sense? As a leader, your job, your attitude, your activities, everything you do should create that thought in people that, wow, if she can do it, I can do this. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to act perfect. It's okay to, to like the pretty picture, the pretty font, the pretty whatever. But always, you don't expect that you need to get to a certain level to be a good leader. The more you complicate things, the less people will want to aspire to be like you. Okay. And at the same time, I'll give you guys a couple of examples. So I've had some leaders. So at Summit, this is a great example. At Summit, our last summit in Utah, for the first time, the company created special seating in the front, reserved seating for the higher ranks. So the double Zaya, the elite got, first priority in the first 2-3 rows. And then I won't say a name, but one of my leaders who was able to sit in the front rows said to me, I just feel bad sitting here. I'm going to go sit with my team in the back. And I said, I understand that, but I just want you to think this way. If you don't sit up here, you are not going to be able to inspire them to think, I want to be like you. I want to work hard so that in the next summit, I can sit where you're sitting. Her eyes lit and she was like, oh, I never thought of it that way. It gives me chills. And she said to me, you're right. I need to allow myself the opportunity to enjoy that seating. And she sat in the front. I spoke on stage. I don't know why they picked me to speak on stage because it's crazy, ridiculous, and awesome. But I feel honored. But I know that if I take on that role, as scary and as crazy as it is to stand on a stage, I always think if I do it, somebody on my team is going to say, I want to speak on that summit stage one day. If I don't do it, then who's going to inspire the rest of you guys? Right? So that's how I think. That's how I lead. I'm always trying to make things simpler for you guys. I want you all to get your wings and feel that you can inspire other people, that you can lead other people, that you're worthy of impacting somebody's life. You trust me, none of the elites, the presidentials, the whatevers, the doubles, we're not special. We're all special. We all are special, and we're in a special place right now called Zaya and called opportunity right now. And I just want to share, this was eye-opening for me, and this is a big deal. And I hope that it creates that mindset in you guys that we're all here for a reason, and everybody, no matter what, has a different level of desire. So let's talk about levels of desire. And I took you guys so I can show you guys this picture. But okay, so this is levels of desire. This is something that I learned from Ray, and this is called the Thompson Rule. And this was a big aha for me. This helps me sleep through the night. Like, I started sleeping when I learned this. So levels of desire, the Thompson Rule. The first one is, and this is about no matter what size your team is. So you can have 2 people, 3 people, 20, 50, 1,000, 1,000,000 people on your downline. 80% of the people that make that team, 80% of the people on our team only have a desire to make $0 to $500 a month. There's people on your team who aspire to make $0. They have no desire to make any money whatsoever. They just want to be around you. They just want to be part of something. They may have just seen you having fun at an event, or they just wanted to support you because they just wanted to be the first person to say yes to you. And they really didn't need the money. They really didn't need anything in their life. They weren't looking for any opportunity. They just wanted to be the first ones to say, I support you. You're my friend. I want to be around you. What do I need to do? Sign me up. They didn't care about spending the money on getting started. Okay. I know. It's like, wait, what? You mean that's why people aren't working? Yeah, because they really don't care about making money. They're not inspired or excited to make a lot of money, or they're not excited or fired up about accomplishing crazy goals or to lead others. You don't need to worry about them. There's no reason to push them. You continue leading by example. Something in their life may change at some point that may change their level of desire, or something inside of them inspires them, and now they're like, okay, I kind of want to make $2,000, $3,000 a month, or like, oh, I want to go to the top of the company. What do we need to do? But it's nothing that you say. It's not your behavior. It's no system or formula or video, nothing. Something in them changes. Their level of desire will change. Then there's a second group, the 15%, and they want to make $2,000 to $3,000 a month. That's it. They're fine with that. They're going to need to learn how to build a small team so that they can make that kind of money. And they're okay with it. They'll bring in one person here, somebody asks, they're like, oh yeah, here's the link. If you want, join. If not, cool, we're fine. They're not going to lose sleep over it. If the person signs up, cool, here, this is what you do. That's fine. So helping them develop is important. And that's why it's important to have those little systems and making things easier for people to, at any point, be ready to start working their business. Okay. And then there's the 5%. I am a 5%er. They want to make at least $25,000 a month. They have a burning desire to live an above average lifestyle. They may not need you. They'll figure this out and run with it. This is the type of person that you probably don't hear from them. You are like, why are you not on the call? Why are you not doing this? I don't care what they're doing. I don't need them to watch my calls. If they're out there producing, if they're out there rocking parties, messaging people, talking to people, I'm fine with it. I'm like, God bless you. Keep rocking. I love you. Let's do this. Same with the rest of the group. Like everybody, when I learned this, it was a, what? So you're telling me that all those people that are at zero, it's not because I'm doing something wrong? And he was like, it's not your fault. They're just not interested. Stop blaming yourself for it. So I think this is where the money is. This is where the sleeping will happen. And this with the frustration drops down to minimum, because now we know that it's not us. It's not you. People can come into this business and rock it without even doing much. Some other people need you to hold their hand, provide them with some resources and help. But for the most part, just know your job as a leader is to create an amazing, I hope this resonates with you. Your job as a leader is to create an amazing culture that makes people feel good regardless of their levels of desire. Don't stop growing and developing yourself. People's seasons and circumstances change for good or for bad. So always be prepared to build. Stay consistent, and more than anything, create a space where everyone feels good to be here. And I think that's been the biggest shift in our team. I don't know if you guys see it, if you've been around for a while. I don't know if you guys notice this, if you guys have noticed that, if you've seen it, blah, blah. I try to make things as fun, as simple as I possibly can. And I hope it's reflecting into leaders and it's trickling down into all the downlines. I just want everybody to have fun. If you want to make a ton of money and you need my help, let's do this. I'm helping everybody who raises their hand. I personally have some, Jen, you're so cute. I personally have some level, like let's say level ones or whatever. So maybe your sponsor is not present. It's like, no, you know what? Maybe your upline is not there. Maybe you have people in between and there are people underneath, like let's say your level 2s, level 3s, level 4s. If they're there, just reach out to them. Extend a hand. help anybody who raises their hand and run with them. It doesn't matter where in your downline they are, and don't expect from people. Just know that at any level, no matter what, whether you're new or in between or seasoned, you always need to be building and growing, because seasons change, circumstances change, desires change, and maybe things change for you. So always be in that building mentality, leading by example, and know that whatever people decide to do, it's them, not you, right? I hope this was helpful, you guys. Does anybody have questions? You want to expand on anything? I'd love to hear you.
This is Jen.
Hi.
Hi. I love this. This is amazing. And I have to say, the Thompson Rule, I heard Ray speak about that on the podcast you recommended, and I was like mind blown, because I'm like, that makes so much sense. And I think, like, I personally went from, or I think the thing I wanted to expand on is, I think that people aren't just like finite. They don't stay in one category or the other. Like, I started this, and I'm a director in a Fortune 100 company. So I was like, I'm good with money. I just want free clothes, because I have a huge like active fitness following. That's like my second job, is like fitness. And I like post a lot on Instagram. So I was like, hey, I'm already spending all this money with Fabletics. Might as well spend it with Zaya and make a little bit of extra so it covers the cost. So that's where I was at. But I recently decided, for a variety of reasons I won't get into, that like my corporate job is really just not for me. And I was like, this Zaya business looks like a gold mine. And honestly, too, in my 80% in the year I had been spending with Zaya, this was just always a place that I came to with that like lit me up. Like, you really did create like a community that just is uplifting for everybody. And it just was like one of these things where I kind of saw, because I was at least following along, that there was a real huge opportunity. So I shifted, and now I can honestly say I'm a 5%er. But I realized that I needed to start showing up here the way I show up in my, in my director role in corporate, which, and I'm successful there. I've developed people and got them promoted, and we do really well. But I know what I do there, and I was like, I just need to apply that more here. So I think that, like, for me personally, like making that shift that you talked about earlier of like how you apply your leadership position in your corporate life to here is fundamental, and showing up, being a good example. So like now I have a group chat for all of myself and my downline. And we've been adding more people. Like, we've had huge momentum. Like, I have a little side chat with two of my girls who are business builders who are phenomenal, and we all know what each other's strengths and weaknesses are. So we kind of bounce off each other and then bring it back over. But we just keep showing up. And even days where I'm like, I know I'm not going to be around. Like, I was in a fitness competition yesterday. I knew I wasn't going to be there. So I sent a little like voice text to them and said, like, have a great day. I'm not going to be around, but I'll get back to you guys. And then I showed up first thing this morning for them. I think the one other thing that I wanted to say, so like the thing that I would say that has been huge for me as a leader, and I'd say is like, would be really helpful, I think, for everyone else, is like showing up, guiding, and then asking and following through on how can I best support you. So that's the other thing I do, is just like, and I think you've been doing that a ton, just ask people, because that's how you can differentiate between the 80%ers who you don't need to pour a ton of, time and mental energy into, 5%ers who are like I'm like, I just need a pat on the back every now and again, or like validation, like, but I don't need, and I need to be a part of like your leadership stuff, but I don't need a ton of other things. Or like the 15%ers who are like, they really want to build, but they need a ton of guidance and development opportunities. So I think just saying that can help them self-identify, and then help you as a leader be like more efficient with how you're spending your time.
That's awesome, Jen. Awesome. And it's proof. And I'll tell you guys, when I started, I wasn't a 5%er. I was tired being a 5%er, trying to be a 5%er in another company. So when I joined Zaya, I'm like, I just want to sell stuff. Like, I'm done. I don't just want to wear stuff, sell it. I'm fine. I don't want to deal with people. I'm fine. and I was an instructor, I was a mom. I just wanted to make it, like, really, I just wanted to make extra money to take my kids to have ice cream, because I was tired of my husband. Every time the kids said on a Friday after school, we passed by the froyo place every time I picked them up from school. Mommy, can we go to Menchie's? I'm like, no, we have, like, in my mind, we have to wait until daddy gets paid. Like, I always knew we were always here. So when I joined a year and a half ago, it was just to make a little extra money to have in my pocket to do little things. But very quickly, and when I say very quickly, it was like within 10 days, I'm like, wait a second, where am I? Like, I got excited again. So my desire changed like this, and it may take a long time. It may be shorter, but if you create that space, oh my God, Jen, it's so cool what you just shared, because it's just proof this is not crazy. And a lot of things, when Ray talks to me, I'm like, Ray, you're crazy. And then I'm like, whatever, okay, fine, you were right. Because I'm just that type of person. I'm a little bit in the rebellious side, but I've learned to be coachable, do things, stay focused, and really shorten the gap between what I don't know and what I want to know. So so I really love that you're sharing this, Jen. I can see it. I've seen it in you. Jen is on my level too. So Jen's sponsor is not, she's not there, and it's okay. And one of the things that I will say is, thank the person that brought them in. Like, say thank you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I wouldn't have Jen we wouldn't have Jen in this community if her sponsor, like, there's a lot happening there, but it's okay. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like I said, whoever raises their hand, help them, support them. And also, if you ever feel like I'm struggling with this or something, to me, I don't take it as a complaint. I see, sometimes I do. Sometimes it's like, are you serious? You're complaining about this thing? But I do also try to identify where there are little gaps where we can get better, we can improve. So don't always see people voicing something as a complaint or a rant, or like they're venting. See what's there. What's the weakness there that you can tweak and help them. Maybe that's sometimes when somebody says, oh, I don't know how to do this. And if I get the same request multiple times, I'm like, oh, dang it, I need to create something that is a resource where I'm pointing people to tools. So, for example, somebody messages me one-on-one and says, how do I process a return? There's a video for that. Bam, I tag them on the video. I don't go through the process of explaining it, because that's going to reduce frustration for me. I cannot be available 24/7. I have 3 kids. I have things to do. I need to sleep. I need to work out. I got to clean this house at some point. You know what I mean? So
yeah, totally.
Tools to point.
But I think like a point that you make though is like, it's like a little empathy goes a long way. If you can just empathize with them for a second, but then make it easier on your back end, right? So you're like, you're going to get a lot of questions about some pretty basic things that happen all the time. Like, if you can find the resource, like the link to how to do returns, or like, I get asked questions sometimes about like sizing, and I'm like, I don't know, I could look it up because that's how I am, but I was like, why don't you go asking the whole team? I'm like, I don't know what someone else does, like, and or there was a question that I got about like applying credit to enroll on a party, and I'm like, honestly, I figured it out because I went and searched on it on YouTube, because I'm trying to figure this stuff out as I go too. But I didn't have to be like, dude, why can't you figure it out on your own? Because that would be mean, right? Like, just from a place of empathy, I was like, okay, like, she's just really trying to figure it out. I knew this is how I figured it out. I'm just going to give her the link. So I think, and I do that with my team at work too, because there's a lot of people who, like, corporate can be like super cutthroat, and some people get kind of mean. In my small team that I have, like the people that work for me, they know they can ask whatever question and like that they want, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to give them the resources to go fish and make it happen. And like, that's, and it comes from a place of like empathizing with, where is this person coming from, instead of coming from a place of like, WTF, even if you think that initially. Just
yeah, and always just learn to teach. learn to teach. Like
Yeah.
whatever you learn, see how you can pass it along. And I will say, if you have leaders on your team right now, see what you can take from this call and share with them, or share the link to share, say, "Hey, listen, I know you've been frustrated with certain things," or just validate. Like that would help. Just sometimes I comment on things, you guys, this is going to be ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. But sometimes I comment on things like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." Not because I just want to comment, but because I know that in me commenting creates validation or creates awareness. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, Paula said it's awesome. Like, what is she, what is she watching? What is this doing? Why is she sharing this? I want to think that people are like, oh, I saw the comment and now I'm going to learn, right? So maybe that creates that validation. If you have, for example, when I post a recording on the team, maybe create that validation. Paula, this was helpful, or I love this conversation, or I have a question about this. Like if you want to expand on it, totally okay. But I would just say, the more we work as leaders together, the stronger we are. Okay, this is not Paula's team. This is our team. This is our family. We're all part of this family. And my goal is that you guys also go and reproduce this. Like, get your wings and fly. You don't need permission from me, from your sponsor, from your upline. Take this business and make it a beautiful thing in the best way you possibly can, and just learn and grow and adapt as you go. And that's it. So I gotta go pick up my daughter from school. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this family. I love you. You guys inspire me. I am super pumped about these calls. I've grown a lot from all of this. Like I got to a point where I felt stuck, and I knew it was me, it was something in me saying, Paula, time to level up. So I don't know, I hope it helps anybody. Bye
Totally.
guys.
Thank you.
Tell Sophia hi. Okay, I will. You're awesome, guys. Bye. Happy
Thank you.
Monday.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye guys.